Hello, students. Today we are going to study Pablo Neruda's powerful poem To the Food from its Child. In this poem, Neruda uses the food as a metaphor for human life itself, our birth, our struggles, our aging, and finally our death. Let's understand this poem together, stanza by stanza. I shall read the stanzas first and then explain the meaning. So listen carefully. Stanza 1. The child's foot is not yet aware it's a foot and would like to be a butterfly or an apple. Let me explain. When a child is born, it has no awareness of the limits. Its imagination is boundless. The child's foot dreams of being something else, a butterfly, which represents freedom, or an apple, which represents beauty and fulfillment. Here, Neruda shows the innocence and dreams of childhood when everything seems possible. Stanza 2. But in time, stones and bits of glass, streets, ladders, and the paths in the rough earth go on teaching the foot that it cannot fly, cannot be a fruit bulging on the branch. Now, what does he mean here? Let me explain. As the child grows, reality begins to strike. Walking on stones, glass, and rough earth symbolizes the hardships of life. These experiences teach the child that it cannot become whatever it imagines. Just like the food cannot fly like a butterfly or grow like a fruit, we too must face the reality that dreams are often limited by life's struggles. Stanza 3. Then the child's foot is defeated, falls in the battle, is a prisoner, condemned to live in a shoe. Now, this stanza is very symbolic. The foot becomes a prisoner inside a shoe. Just as human becomes trapped by responsibilities, routines, and struggles, childhood freedom is lost, and life now becomes a battle of survival. The shoe represents society, discipline, the restrictions that we must live with. Stanza 4. Bit by bit in the dark, it grows to know the world in its own way, out of touch with its fellow, enclosed, feeling out life like a blind man. Now, what does he say here? Inside the darkness of the shoe, the foot learns to adapt. This represents how, as adults, we navigate life with limited freedom, often blindly, guided by experience rather than dreams. The foot becomes isolated, cut off from others, and learns about the world through struggle and endurance. Next stanza, stanza 5. These soft nails of quartz bunched together grow hard and change themselves into opaque substance hard as horn, and the tiny petal toes of the child grow bunched and out of trim, take on the form of eyeless reptiles with triangular heads like worms. Now, the stanza seems a little bit complicated. Let me simplify, so listen carefully again. Here, Neruda gives us vivid, even harsh imagination or imagery. The soft, delicate foot of a child changes as it ages. The nails harden, the toes lose their beauty, and they begin to look like reptiles. Your feet, when the baby is small and young, their feet look cute. You feel like kissing them. But when they grow up, the feet becomes ugly and hard and rough and unattractive. This symbolizes how innocence and softness are gradually replaced by toughness and scars from life's struggles. Stanza 6. Later they grow calloused and are covered with faint volcanoes of death, a coarsening hard to accept. So let me explain again here. As the foot grows older, it becomes rough and calloused, scarred by countless struggles. Volcanoes of death suggest the slow, inevitable approach of aging and mortality. This change is hard to accept, just as growing old is hard for humans to accept. Now imagine when you're young, you are beautiful, but when you grow old, Okay, you have wrinkles all over your face, and your hands and legs, okay, they become, how do they become? Ha- Have you all seen how old people look like? Yes, it looks wrinkly. So, do they look beautiful? No, it looks ugly. That is what the poet is trying to say here. Now, stanza 7. Now, this is a little bit a long stanza. So, again, I want all of you all to pay attention. But this blind thing walks without respite, never stopping for hour after hour, the one foot, the other, now the man's, now the woman's, up above, down below, through fields, mines, markets, and ministries, backwards, far afield, inward, forward. This foot toils in its shoe, scarcely taking time to bear itself in love or sleep. It walks, they walk, until the whole man chooses to stop. Now, what does he mean here? He means to say that this is one of the most powerful stanzas. The foot never stops, it walks tirelessly, whether it belongs to a man or to a woman, through every place in society, fields, mines, offices, markets. This represents human labor, the endless cycle of work and duty. Notice the line scarcely, taking time to bear itself in love or sleep, meaning you don't have enough time to love yourself or to sleep. We work tirelessly to make our lives better. Neruda is reminding us how humans rarely pause for joy, rest, or love until death finally forces them to stop. Now, next stanza. And then it descended underground, unaware, for there everything was dark. It never knew it has ceased to be a food, or if they were burying it so that it could fly, or so that it could become an apple. Now, in this last stanza, the poet is saying that finally, we end our lives. How? We die. The poem closes with death. The foot is buried underground, but it remains unaware, just as humans after death are unconscious of their own end. Yet, Neruda circles back to the childhood dreams of being a butterfly or an apple. Is that the place where dreams might finally come true? Could the soul, after leaving the body, find freedom? The poet leaves us with this open, hopeful question. So, how do we conclude this poem? In this poem, Pablo Neruda beautifully traces the journey of human life through the metaphor of a foot, from childhood, innocence, and dreams, to the painful struggles of adulthood, to the scars of aging, and finally to death. It is a reminder of how life is full of trials and limitations, yet also how deeply human our endurance is. I hope this explanation helps you not only understand the poem but also reflect on your own journey.